How's it going? I'm Jared Gillis. Today we're going to be installing a washer and dryer unit in an RV. But in the RV industry, one of the things that does not make sense to me is why they halfway prep it. They give you a drain, fresh water, but no vent. It's halfway prep. They leave it to you to figure it out. So that's what we're doing today. We're figuring out the rest of the install, the rest of the prep to get the washer and dryer in here so it'll work for the RV. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. So to start off, one of the first things that I like to do is make sure that I have all of my equipment, because you don't want to get into something like this where we're going to have to literally drill a hole through the side of the RV, and not just a small hole, a 4-inch hole. And so when you do that, you want to make sure that you're spot on for where you want to be. I want to answer as many questions as I can think of before you fully commit to drilling that hole. So we obviously have our vent kit. We'll make sure that this is going to fit where we want it to. We have our stacking hardware to be able to stack the washer and dryer. This isn't a combo unit all in one. These are a stacking pair that bolt together. And obviously this isn't our RV, but we're installing this for some friends. And so they went with the optional tray to put underneath there. In case there's a water leak, it's going to catch it and drain that water outside. Then we obviously have our washer and dryer. He already had these, but if you're looking for a washer and dryer, I'm going to put links down in the description to etrailer. They are the sponsor of this video. They sell so many different things for RVing, including options of washer and dryers that you can use on the inside of an RV. They carry the GE washer and dryer for RVing that look pretty impressive. It comes with the hoses, and in their video rundowns, they give you part numbers for optional accessories. They carry just about everything, and they have great customer service. So let's get into the install and the first step that we need to do. So measurements are a great first step, but right behind that, I really like being able to dry fit everything to make sure that the doors are going to be able to open and clear, to make sure that the vent is going to fit, which was a good thing because I had to slide the washer and dryer to the left to make sure the vent is going to be able to pass through. Now, for my first big task, I want to install the dryer vent and get that sealed up. And in this RV, we didn't have an indication of where to drill for this vent, but it's critical to be spot on. I used stud finders, which did help me find the framework of the RV, so I didn't go through any of the framing. And then I started generously taping the side of the RV so I could mark where I wanted to drill, but if I needed to move my marks, I could without marking up the side of the RV. Now, I tried to do everything that I could to make sure that I'm drilling in the right spot, making multiple measurements. But the one thing that didn't work out is sometimes when you go out to the RV in the morning and it's cool and there's a little bit of moisture, you can actually see where the framing is on the RV. I tried that here. I wasn't able to do it. The funny thing is, on our RV, I was able to see it this morning. But I have one more trick up my sleeve that I'm going to try. I'm going to start drilling the hole on the inside here. I'm going to take off this piece of Luan, the inside wood. And I'm just going to give it one last quick look to see if there's any framing in that area, because if there is, I don't want to try and go with the drill bit through it and start causing damage in there. If I do need to make a change from this, it's just an interior portion inside a closet. I'll be able to make a panel over that, but I just want to do everything that I possibly can before I actually punch to the outside of the RV. Looking good? No metal. That's great. Now we can punch it through to the outside. My preference is use the pilot bit to mark the center of the hole and then drill it from the outside. Even though it's taped on the outside, using the 4-inch hole saw from the outside, make sure that I'm not going to fracture, splinter, or blow out the fiberglass on the outside of the RV. Now I grab my vent, I dry fit it into the hole, even put the screws in so that way I know where I need to seal. And then you can pull that vent back out, put a bead of caulking around that edge, and then I also put a dab on each of the screw holes and the screw holes on the side of the RV. I want those penetrations sealed as well. Now I'm gonna do the same thing with the cover. I'm gonna dry fit it on there, get my screw hole locations so that I can seal those up as I put the cover on. Then I put a fresh bead of sealant around the cover. This way I have multiple layers of sealant for water to ever be able to penetrate. We have the cover that's sealed, we have the vent that's actually sealed, and each of those screw holes are all sealed. I don't want a chance of any water getting into the side of the RV. So now next we're putting in the pan that goes underneath the washing machine. Not everybody puts this in, but this is a great idea. So if there is a water leak, it could catch it, and it actually has a drain out the back. Some people will cap it, but we're actually going to drain this outside. So let's see how this goes. Now, for the 1/2-inch PVC drain, we just went straight down through the front cap of the fifth wheel, which should make it pretty obvious. If there is a water leak in here and you see water dripping from that location, you're gonna know that you have a problem. And in my attempt to trying to show you how I put this together in a tight spot, I got this great shot of the back of my hand, my elbow, and apparently my face trying to scare this project into submission. Now for the outside portion of this drain, I made a piece of PVC with a screen in it so that way no bugs can fly up in here. Used a washer with a rubber washer, and so when I connect it all together, it seals it off so it won't create any water leaks, but it's gonna allow the water to drain out that's in that pan from inside. Once we're done with the install, we're gonna come back and paint this as well. Now, something that I thought was a little strange with this pan is you actually screw it to the floor. So I put butyl tape on those screws because I want to seal those the best that I possibly can, and probably wouldn't hurt to put some sealant on top of that as well. Next, we have the brackets to install on top of the washer so that the washer and dryer are gonna lock together. It has an entire template that you put on there and you just follow it and it just bolts together. Now, speaking of bolts, the next thing we need to do is remove the bolts on the back of the washer because when these are shipping, they have bolts that lock everything in there, and we need to remove those and cap those so that we can get this into place. Much easier to do that now when it's not in the tight closet. Every bit we can do before we put it in there is going to be a lot easier. But that wraps up just about all of our prep. Next up is moving heavy things in tight places. This is the part of the install that's just about like any other washer and dryer that's out there. We have our typical connections for hot and cold, our drain, and our electrical connections, which is just 120 volt. Then we need to finish installing our pan because it has a front piece that goes on there that creates a dam on the front. You put butyl tape underneath it and screw it down. Not my favorite design, but it should work. Now, next I stack the dryer on top of the washer, connect up the dryer vent in the back, and then I just need to attach those two together using the bracket with the screws to lock them in place. So now one thing that we're missing that's a pretty big deal is we're missing the feet right now for the washer down here. That way that anchors it down to the ground, so that way it's not gonna move around or tip when you're going down the road. So that still needs to be put in, but I just pop the plate off, be able to screw that down, and they would be secure. They're tied to each other, but you want to make sure that they're not going to move around when you're driving down the road. So easy fix, but have to come later. So that's the install of a washer and dryer, a stackable inside an RV. I still don't understand why they don't just do the entire prep, having it vented to the outside, but now you know what it takes to finish up getting it vented to the outside and getting that all sealed up. And if you're looking for a washer and dryer or a combo unit, check the links down in the description for the ones at etrailer. I think that's going to do it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope that it helped you out in some way. So as always, if we don't see you on the road, hopefully we will see you next video. Take care.